Hello everyone. Let us begin with a new topic today, that is adverse drug reactions or the ADRs. So it is discussed as a part of the pharmacodynamics, okay, because it is usually dependent upon the drug action. Okay, so exactly the way in which the drug reacts in the body. Okay, so it may show several effects as we have seen. Okay, and one of them could be the therapeutic effect. Okay, so a number of effects may be seen which are actually unwanted effects. Okay, so those are called as the adverse drug reactions. Okay, so adverse effects, these are usually the undesirable or the unintended consequences of the drug administration. Okay, so in broad sense you can say that adverse effects include all the types of noxious effects. Okay, now noxious, it may be either trivial, that is not much serious, or some serious effects may also be seen. Some organ damage or tissue damage may be seen, or sometimes it may even result in death. So all the types of effects, may it be less severe or maybe it more severe or maybe it is resulting in death, all can be categorized as the adverse effects of a particular drug. Now exactly what does this term mean, adverse drug reaction, or it is popularly known as ADR of a particular drug. Okay, so the actual definition, this includes any noxious change in the body, okay, which is suspected to be due to a drug. So a drug producing any noxious change in the body which occurs at doses which are normally used for therapeutic effects or requires some treatment. So it will produce some effects which you need to further treat with some other drug. Okay, usually drugs are used to mostly maybe to treat some pathological condition, but it may in turn produce certain effects which may require further treatment, right? Under the factors modifying the drug action also we have seen sometimes the drug may be potentially hepatotoxic in nature or nephrotoxic in nature or ototoxic in nature. So it may result in toxicity in the body. It may damage certain systems or organs. So you may require further treatment in certain cases also, or you may have to decrease the dose of that particular drug. Usually whatever dose you are using for the treatment, it may precipitate some adverse drug reactions which may require you to reduce the dose. You may not be able to use that particular dose in a particular individual. Okay, or it may also indicate caution in the future use of the same drug. Now supposing you know that a particular drug is producing some adverse drug reaction which is characteristic to a particular individual, say allergic reaction. So a particular individual is allergic to a particular drug. So you know that that person is allergic. So what will happen? You will impart a caution, right? You will instruct that person not to consume that medication again, or else the person may develop allergies in the future. Okay, so it may caution the further use of that particular drug in certain individuals. Okay, so these are the adverse drug reactions. Okay, so any noxious changes which are due to drug which occurs at the doses which are normally used in men may require treatment or at least decrease in the dose, or sometimes indicate the caution in the future use of the same drug in that particular individual or maybe any other individuals also. Okay, so this is to do with the definition of the adverse drug reactions. Now, which are those drugs which can produce the adverse reactions? Okay, now you cannot say that a particular drug is altogether safe, that it will not produce any adverse effect. Okay, it might not happen that it will not precipitate adverse drug reaction. Now it's not that all the drugs may produce most of the adverse effects at all the time. Okay, but all the drugs are capable of producing the adverse effects. That is, they may produce the adverse effect. Okay, it's not that when you give a particular drug it will definitely produce the adverse effect, but it is capable of producing some or the other adverse effects. Sometimes the adverse effects may be noticed, or sometimes the adverse effects may also go unnoticed also in certain situations. Okay, so all the drugs may be capable of producing some or the other adverse effects. Okay, now it depends upon the use also, depends upon the individual also. Okay, so whenever you are prescribing a particular drug to a particular individual, a risk is taken. Okay, so the magnitude of risk, this has to be considered along with the magnitude of the expected therapeutic benefit. That's what this concept we have already covered earlier in the pharmacodynamics, risk benefit ratio. So you need to judge the risk as well as the benefits of the particular drug when you are prescribing it in certain individual. Okay, so every drug will have some risk or some disadvantages. Okay, cost is also a type of risk, right? So everybody may not be able to afford the costly drugs, right? Okay, so that is also a disadvantage of a particular drug, right? Adverse drug reaction, maybe alteration of some physiology. So that is also a part of the risk. Okay? Whereas benefits is whether it can cure that particular situation, symptoms may be subsided, life expectancy may be increased, mortality is decreased, or the person's altogether outlook towards the life may be improved. Okay, so all these are a part of benefits. So you need to judge the magnitude of risk and the magnitude of the therapeutic benefits which are shown by that particular drug. So whenever you are prescribing a drug, a risk is taken because it may show the adverse effects. Okay, so you need to balance that risk benefit ratio. You need to balance it and then select appropriate therapeutic agent in a particular individual. Okay, like the same example I had quoted earlier also, that is the treatment of cancer, that is chemotherapy, when it is administered in certain individuals who are suffering from cancer. So the side effects itself of those cancer chemotherapy, these are quite severe. Okay, they may even cause bone marrow depression. So bone marrow is quite important, right? Because it's the site where your blood cells are generated, right? Okay, so chemotherapy can damage the bone marrow. Okay, it can result in bone marrow depression. Okay, so it's quite a serious adverse reaction, right, of the cancer chemotherapy. But just because it is showing bone marrow depression, will you not treat cancer? So if you leave it untreated, if it is quite serious, if the patient is in the later stages, the person may even die, right? So you can take a risk of bone marrow depression when you are treating the person who is suffering from cancer. While, let's take in another example. So when a particular drug, antihistaminic drug, when it is used in treatment of a common cold, say if you are suffering from a common cold and an antihistaminic drug is given, it may result in drowsiness, sedative, it has sedative properties, so it may produce drowsiness, you may feel sleepy. Okay. But this drowsiness is also unacceptable when a particular drug is used in the treatment of common cold. So you need to judge the risk versus the benefits which are produced, and accordingly you may select the particular drug in the in prescribing towards a particular individual. Okay, now these adverse effects which are shown by the drugs, which may be shown by a particular drug, so they may either develop promptly, they may be once you start administrating the drug. So say there are certain drugs which may start precipitating adverse reactions within a few minutes also, okay, or within few hours. Okay? Or sometimes the adverse effects may be precipitated after prolonged medication, after you use the drug chronically over a period of time. So many doses if you are utilizing, and after a few days maybe certain adverse effects may be precipitated, or even sometimes the adverse effects are precipitated even after the stoppage of the drug. You have stopped the treatment, and after that also sometimes the adverse effects may be precipitated. And when a person is on multiple drug therapy, there are more chances that the adverse effects may take place, because we have seen when the person is administered with more than one type of drug, so they may interact with each other and adverse effects may be precipitated. One drug may precipitate the toxicity of another drug, okay, by altering its kinetics. So also there are more chances of adverse effects in the elderly, because we have seen that several physiological processes, these are declined as the age progresses. So also elderlies are suffering from so many types of pathological conditions. They are on multiple drug therapy. Okay, so there are more chances that adverse drug reactions can be precipitated in the elderly patients. Now coming to the types of adverse effects. Now adverse effects can be classified into two main types: predictable reactions or unpredictable reactions. Okay. So predictable means you can predict a particular adverse effects which may be shown by a particular drug, because it's mechanism based adverse reactions. It's based on its therapeutic properties. So you can predict what type of adverse effect a particular drug can have if that drug's dose is exceeded, or if it shows enhanced action. So you can predict the types of adverse effects which may be produced by that particular drug. So these type of adverse effects are also known as type A adverse effects or augmented adverse effects. The second type is the unpredictable adverse reactions. So these are totally unrelated. Okay, so you cannot predict that this particular drug may show this particular type of adverse effects. So these are also known as type B reactions or bizarre type of reactions. Okay, quite unusual type of reactions. That's the meaning of the term bizarre. Okay. Now let us see one by one these two types of adverse drug reactions. The first one is a predictable type or type A or augmented type of reactions, which are mechanism based adverse reactions. So as I have told you earlier that these are based on the pharmacological properties of that particular drug. Okay, that means they are augmented. Okay, something which is produced due to the exaggeration of the pharmacological action of that particular drug, but it is qualitatively normal response to a drug. Okay, only thing is it is an enhanced action or augmented action. Okay. Now these includes a type of adverse drug reactions which are categorized as type A, or the predictable type of reactions include side effects of a drug, toxic effects, or the consequences of the drug withdrawal. Okay, so these are some of the examples of predictable type of adverse drug reactions. Now if you consider the occurrence, these are most commonly occurring type of adverse drug reactions. Okay, most of the adverse drug reactions are predictable type, or they may be dose related. Okay, so if you increase the dose, certain toxic effects may be precipitated. Okay, so it's based upon the dose, and mostly these are preventable. You can prevent them. Okay, so if you know that they are precipitated at higher doses, you should not go up to that level. So you can prevent them, or they can be reversible. That is, if a particular drug has produced adverse effects, then you can stop the treatment, right? So it will get reversed. Okay. So these are some of the properties of the predictable reactions. Now coming to the second type, that is unpredictable reactions or type 2 or bizarre type of reactions. So as the name implies, these are quite unusual type of reactions towards a drug, and these are based on the peculiarities of the patients. Okay, so these are seen in certain individuals. This is not drug's known action. Okay, these are not the known actions of that particular drug. Usually that drug does not produce such type of actions in all the individuals. Okay, so it is seen in only certain individuals. So it is a characteristic feature, some characteristic feature of that individual which is resulting in adverse reactions in only those individuals. Say for example allergies. Certain individuals are allergic, right? Allergy is a type of hypersensitivity reaction when you are sensitive towards a particular substance. Say for example pollen, some people are allergic to pollens, right? Some people are allergic to dust. So when they inhale that, they will start sneezing, okay? They will have a running nose. So these are the type of allergic reactions which may be produced. Certain people, when they consume certain types of food, they may develop rashes on their skin. Okay, so they are said to be allergic towards that particular type of food. So likewise, people may be allergic to the drug also. That is, when they consume certain types of drug, allergic hypersensitivity type of reactions may be precipitated. So these are peculiarities of that patient. Usually that drug does not show hypersensitivity reaction, but it is shown only in certain individuals. Okay. Or idiosyncrasy. These may be due to certain people with certain genotype. Okay. So certain genetics may be responsible over here. So it is seen only in certain individuals of that genotype. It is not a general property of the drug. It will not show these reactions in all the individuals, but it will be seen only of those particular genotypes. So that is a type of idiosyncrasy reactions. Okay, of course we will consider all these in detail. So these are the examples of unpredictable type of adverse drug reactions. Now these occurrence, if you consider as compared to type A, these are less common in occurrence. So these are seen only in few individuals and these are rare to occur. These are not quite common. Often these are non-dose related. They are not related to the dose. It's not that lower doses will not precipitate these reactions, only higher doses will be precipitated. No, it is not like that in this case. Generally, if you compare it with the type A, these are more serious. And sometimes even the withdrawal of the drug may be required, whereas in case of type A, maybe adjustment in the doses also may be sufficient. But here, since it is non-dose related, you may have to sometimes withdraw the drug if the side effects are quite severe, or it may be quite serious also. So at that time you may have to withdraw the drug also. You may have to stop the treatment in that particular individual. Okay, so sometimes some of these adverse effects may also be predicted and prevented if the genetic basis for these type of effects are known. So nowadays a lot of studies being done in the genetics also. So the genetic knowledge is also utilized in selecting a particular treatment in particular individuals. We have covered under the factors modifying drug action also, pharmacogenetics, pharmacogenomics. So these are quite advanced sciences when a lot of studies being done about the genetics of a particular individual and how exactly drug action can be altered based on the genetics. So you can select the drug appropriately so that these type of adverse drug reactions can be avoided. Now, coming to the severity of the adverse drug reactions. So what could be the severity and accordingly how you can categorize the adverse drug reactions. So there are certain adverse drug reactions which are minor. Minor means here no therapy may be required. So the symptoms which are precipitated, these are not quite serious. So you may not require any additional treatment over here, or antidotes to reverse the actions, or prolongation of hospitalization is not required in this particular situation. So no therapy or antidotes or prolongation of the hospitalization is required in this situation. Then moderate type of adverse effects. So here the adverse effects are such that they require little bit change in the therapy, or sometimes maybe specific treatment also may be required. Some additional drug you may have to give to that particular person, or it may prolong the hospital stay by at least one more day because of the adverse reactions of your drug. Then the severe type of adverse drug reactions, these are potentially life-threatening. So it may endanger the life of that particular person, or it may cause permanent damage to some system or some tissues or some organ of the body, and requires the intensive medical treatment for such type of adverse drug reactions. So such type of adverse drug reactions are categorized as severe. There may be certain adverse drug reactions which are lethal. Lethal means these type of adverse effects either directly or indirectly contribute towards the death of the person. Okay. So it is on record that certain drugs have resulted in the death of the patient also, because of some very much severe side effects, quite serious side effects. So these are also fatal. It may result in the death of the person also. So such type of adverse drug reactions are categorized as lethal adverse drug reactions. Okay. So these are the types of adverse drug reaction based on the severity. Then one more concept is the pharmacovigilance. Now this is quite a growing field nowadays. Vigilance, it is the science and the activities which are related to the detection, assessment, understanding and prevention of the adverse effects of the drug or any other problem which is related to your drug. Okay, so now this field is quite growing these days because people are also more aware about the adverse effects. So there are certain organizations which basically work towards monitoring of the adverse drug reactions. When the drug is marketed, once it is in the market, it's not that the drug is totally safe or it will not have any new adverse drug reactions. Usually the drug is studied quite extensively in animals, then in human beings, and then only it is released in the market when it is found to be safe. But as we have seen that certain adverse drug reactions may also be seen after prolonged use. Okay, so there are certain organizations which look into these adverse drug reactions which may be produced by certain drugs. Okay, so this is quite important to detect or to understand why that ADR is precipitating and how it can be prevented. Because if any drug produces adverse drug reaction, obviously the patient will not consume that drug, right? If it shows adverse drug reactions, if it is producing some rashes or if it is producing some damage to the organs, obviously the patient will not want to take that particular medication, right? So you need to monitor what are the adverse drug reactions or what are the problems which may be produced by that particular drug. Maybe not now but in the future. So you need to continuously monitor the use of a particular drug. So there are several organizations which are doing this, which are into the pharmacovigilance. So this is quite important because the knowledge or the information about the drug which is provided by the pharmacovigilance, it is quite important because it is providing the knowledge about the adverse drug reaction, the unwanted effects. So it will help in educating the doctors, even in the official regulation of the drug use also. Because if a particular drug is showing very much severe adverse drug reaction, maybe the drug is also withdrawn from the market. You just can't take a risk of prescribing that drug to normal individuals, okay, which is endangering their life. So sometimes it has happened that the drugs are withdrawn from the market. After the use for several years also the drug has been withdrawn from the market. Okay, so this vigilance plays a very important role also in the rational use of the medication, because it provides the basis for assessing the safety of the medication. Okay. So you should be careful while prescribing the medication which is quite safe towards that patient, because the patient will not have any knowledge about the effects which are shown by the drug, right? About the adverse drug reactions which are shown by that particular drug. So it is quite important to prescribe a drug which is quite safe to the individuals also. Okay. So for that matter, vigilance plays a very important role. Then, next concept is prevention of the adverse drug reactions. How you can prevent them. So, these can be minimized, at least if they are not totally avoided. Okay, it cannot happen that totally the adverse drug reactions can be subsided. Okay. Only thing is you can minimize their occurrence. So you can take some precautions which will help in prevention of the adverse drug reaction. Okay. So there are some measures which can be taken. Okay. First of all, avoid all the inappropriate use of the drug. Okay. So drug, it should be used in a proper manner. Okay. Haphazard handling of the drug or inappropriate use of the drug should be avoided. Next is use appropriate dose or route or frequency of that particular drug. Okay. You should select appropriate dose as per the requirement of the patient. If the patient requires a lower dose, simply don't overburden the patient with the larger doses or larger number of doses or use of inappropriate route. So that can also give a chance towards development of the adverse drug reaction. Again, elicit and take into consideration the previous history of the drug reaction. If you know that a particular person is suffering some kind of adverse drug reaction, if a particular drug is taken, say supposing if a person is allergic towards certain antibiotics, so you should not prescribe those antibiotics again in those patients. Okay? So patient history also should be taken into consideration. Again, yes, the same, again, as I have given you the example of the allergic disease. If the drug is allergic in nature. Okay. So if you know that a person is suffering from allergic diseases, there are high chances that the person may be allergic to certain drugs also. So patient history is quite important. Then drug interactions should be taken care of. If one drug is affecting the action of another drug, then you should be quite careful while administering those drugs together. We have seen several examples of drug interactions. So you should rule out the possibilities of drug interactions when you are prescribing more than one type of drug. Otherwise, one drug may affect the action of other drugs and maybe the adverse effects may get precipitated. One drug may precipitate the adverse drug reactions of another drug, as we have seen. If protein binding, if one drug displaces the another, toxicity may be precipitated. If one drug inhibits the metabolism, toxicity may get precipitated. Okay. So you should be careful while multiple prescribing about the drug interactions, which may result in adverse drug reaction. Again, adopt correct drug administration techniques. There are some drugs which should be administered by certain techniques. Say for example, vancomycin. It should be given by IV route, but the injection should be done slow over a period of time, maybe of 1 hour. Otherwise, it may damage the blood vessels. Okay, it may cause systemic toxicity if you inject the drug rapidly. So this injection, it should be done slowly. So proper administration technique should be followed for the drug. Otherwise, ARDS may be precipitated. Again, monitoring of the drug if required, it should be done. Say for example, if you are administering warfarin, prothrombin time should be watched for. Otherwise, the bleeding disorders may be seen. Serum drug levels of lithium also should be monitored, okay, because otherwise, if it crosses a certain level, toxicity may be precipitated. Okay, so these are some of the precautions which you can take to prevent or minimize the adverse drug reactions. Now coming to the actual adverse drug reactions which may be shown by the drugs. So the first type of adverse drug reaction is the side effect of a particular drug. So now side effect, exactly it means that these are the unwanted but often unavoidable pharmacodynamic effects which occur at therapeutic doses. Okay. So the dose is normal dose which is required to produce a therapeutic effect. But at the same time, as I have told you, one drug may show multiple actions, right? It may show multiple effects. So these are those effects which are due to their pharmacodynamic property. It's the normal pharmacodynamic effects which are shown by the drugs, but shown at the therapeutic doses. So these are unwanted effects, but these are unavoidable pharmacodynamic effects which are shown at normal therapeutic doses which are used to treat a particular condition. So these are a type of predictable adverse drug reactions, right? So you can predict them from the pharmacological profile of that particular drug. Okay. Now, reduction of the dose will help in controlling the symptoms which may be shown. So just by altering the dose, so it's a type A adverse drug reaction. If you lower the dose, it will subside the symptoms which are precipitated by this type of side effects. Okay. So side effects, it may be based on either the same action as the therapeutic effect. Okay. Now there are various concepts which you have to look into now. Now a side effect of a particular drug, it may be based on the therapeutic effect of that particular drug. Now let's take an example, it will be more clearer. Now atropine, it is used as a pre-anesthetic medication for its anti-secretory action. That is, it reduces the secretions, okay, which is used, this particular property is used as the pre-anesthetic medication. So that's why it is used as a pre-anesthetic medication, because it decreases the secretions. It's an anticholinergic drug. So it decreases the secretions from several glands. Salivary secretions may be decreased. Okay, in the tracheobronchial tree, the secretions are decreased. Now during anesthesia, the person is unconscious. So you do not want the body secretions to increase. There are some anesthetics also which irritate the air passages and increase the secretion. So it can be quite dangerous. So this anti-secretory property, it is used as a therapeutic property when it is used as a pre-anesthetic medication. But the same property, same anti-secretory property of this atropine also produces dryness of mouth as a side effect. So now here same thing, so the same property, it is shown as a side effect, right? So you can predict it from the pharmacological action of your drug, the pharmacodynamic effect of your drug. Now again, the certain side effects may also be based on different facet of action. Say for example, promethazine, it produces sedation which is unrelated to its anti-allergic action. Okay, now this is its therapeutic property. But what is the side effect which is shown? Sedation. Those two actions or those two effects are totally unrelated to each other, right? So the side effects is totally different as compared to the therapeutic effect. Whereas in case of atropine, what we have seen here, also secretions are reduced. That is acting as a therapeutic property, and here also secretion of saliva is decreasing. But it produces side effect, that is dryness of mouth. Okay. So a same property, it may be therapeutic in one context, but it may be side effect in the another context. Say codeine. Codeine is actually used as a cough suppressor. Okay. So it's actually an opioid analgesic, but it is a very good cough suppressant. So when it is used as a cough suppressant, it produces constipation as a side effect. It will reduce the GI motility and it will result in constipation. The person will be constipated. So this becomes a side effect, right? Constipation is a side effect of codeine when it is used as a cough suppressant. But this same property which was side effect over here, okay, constipation is a side effect, right? But when you use codeine in the treatment of traveler's diarrhea, the same property of constipation, it is acting as a therapeutic effect. In diarrhea, what happens? That is, there is increased GI motility, maybe due to some infections. GI motility may be increased, or there may be excessive passage of the stools. Okay, so the person may suffer from diarrhea. So over here, constipation may be instituted to control this condition. So here it has become the therapeutic property now. But when the same drug was used as cough suppressant, same constipation has become a side effect. So in one particular situation, a particular effect may be a therapeutic effect, and in another situation it may become a side effect. So this is also true for certain drugs. Okay. Now many of the drugs they have also been developed from the observation of the side effects. That is, particular drug may have produced a side effect, okay, but that same side effect also has led to the discovery of some new therapeutic effects of that particular drug. Say for example with sulfonamides, which are used as antibacterials. These were found to produce hypoglycemia, that is decrease in the blood glucose level, and acidosis as the side effects. Okay. So these are the side effects of sulfonamides. But these same side effects led to the discovery of the new therapeutic agents, that is sulfonylureas, which is quite popularly used hypoglycemic drug, which can reduce the blood glucose level in diabetes. Or it also led to the discovery of acetazolamide, which is a carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. So it's a diuretic drug. So it led, side effect of one drug has led to the discovery of totally new therapeutic agents also. That is also true. Okay. Then next type of adverse drug reaction is secondary effect. Okay. So these are the indirect consequences of a primary action of your drug. So your drug has produced one action, it has resulted in one effect, but that effect has resulted into some other effect which has become the adverse drug reaction. Say for example, suppression of the bacterial flora. Now when you are giving certain antibiotics to treat some infections, systemic infections, if you are suffering from some microbial infections, systemic infections, so you give antibiotics, right? So tetracyclines is a type of antibiotic which can be given. It kills the microorganism. Okay, now what should these antibiotics kill? The invading microorganism, which has resulted in infection. But this tetracyclines at the same time, it can also suppress the bacterial flora, normal flora of the body. So as a result of this, it may further result in superinfection. That is, you have given this drug to treat one infection, but it has led to some other infections. Okay. So it has increased the chances of superinfections. Okay, that means one more second variant of the infection might have taken place by some other microorganism. So one therapeutic property of one drug has resulted into the adverse effect. Okay, so such type of effects are known as secondary effect. Okay. Another example we can see, that is with the corticosteroids. Corticosteroids can weaken the defense mechanism of the body. So as a result of this, the latent tuberculosis may get activated. Okay, so the person may also suffer from the tuberculosis. The ones which was latent, it will get activated. Okay, corticosteroid therapy. So one particular therapeutic use of a particular drug has resulted into the adverse drug reaction. So such type of reactions are known as secondary effects. Okay. And the third type of adverse drug reactions are the toxic effects of the drug. So toxic effects are the effects which are produced as a result of excessive pharmacological action of that particular drug in the overdose or the prolonged use of that particular drug. Supposing if you consume excessive number of tablets at a time. So if you are supposed to take one tablet, instead of that if you take 4 tablets, what will happen? Your body will get overloaded with your drug, right? So dosage regimen is selected according to its rate of absorption, rate of elimination, everything is balanced, and whatever plasma concentration is required for producing the therapeutic effect, accordingly it is selected, right? Now supposing if a particular drug is used in large doses, or a particular drug may be used for a long period of time, there may be precipitation of adverse effects. So such type of adverse effects are known as toxic effects based on the excessive pharmacological action of that particular drug. Okay. Now this overdose of the drug, it may be either absolute, okay, that is either accidental consumption of more drugs. Supposing if I suppose to consume only 1 tablet per day, and accidentally if you consume 3 tablets 3 times if you consume, or homicidal, maybe with the intention to kill someone. If you mix some medication or some drug in the say food or something like that, so homicidal, this is attempt to kill someone. Or maybe suicide. This is generally seen in the depressed patient who are depressed, who do not want to live. Maybe these are maybe due to several situations, maybe social bereavement or something like that. So they may want to kill themselves. So what they do, they consume the more number of doses, right? Generally you all must have seen this, people consume the sleeping tablets, more 20, 25 or 30 at a time they consume in order to commit the suicide. Okay, so this type of overdose is absolute. Okay, that means here you are consuming extra doses, that's why it has resulted in overdosage. But sometimes this overdose may be even relative, that is usually you are consuming only the required dose of your drug, but it may result into toxic effects because of some kind of pathological state in the body. Say for example, if you consume usual dose of gentamicin in the presence of renal failure. Now renal failure means your kidney is not functioning properly. Now usually we have seen kidneys are the most important route of excretion, right? Urine. Through urine most of the drugs will get excreted out. Now supposing if your kidneys are not functioning properly, what will happen to your drugs excretion? Obviously it will be decreased. So you're consuming your drug at usual doses, but it is not getting excreted out of the body. So that's why it is accumulating in the body and it has resulted in toxic effects. So such type of overdose is known as relative. Now the manifestations of the symptoms which may be caused by such type of toxicity are predictable, and these are dose related. Okay, so you can find out what type of effects may be produced, and these are usually dose related, which are seen at higher doses. Okay. Now these may result in some functional alteration in the body, or drug induced tissue damage may also be seen. So most commonly the systems of the body or the organs which are affected include CNS, CVS, or kidney, liver, lungs, skin and blood forming organs. These are quite common targets for the drug toxicity. Now this toxicity may even result from the extension of the therapeutic effect of the drug itself. Okay. Say for example, coma may be produced by barbiturates. Now barbiturates is the drug which produces CNS depression. So excessive doses will result in coma. The person may go into coma, will become unconscious, okay, and go into coma. Then bleeding, which may be due to heparin. Heparin is anticoagulant, so it may result in the bleeding tendencies, okay, in higher doses. Another action also may be responsible for the toxicity. So here same therapeutic property is not responsible for the toxicity. Say for example, morphine, it is actually analgesic which is used to reduce the pain, but it may result in respiratory failure in the overdose. So it is quite unrelated, right? Its therapeutic effect and the adverse effects, these are unrelated to each other. Streptomycin, it is an anti-tubercular drug, okay, used in the tuberculosis treatment. Okay, but it may result in vestibular damage to your vestibular apparatus in your ear, okay, upon the prolonged use. So adverse effects is totally unrelated to the therapeutic property of your drug. The next type of adverse effect is the intolerance. Okay, under the factors modifying drug action we have covered the tolerance, right? So what do you mean by tolerance? It is the requirement of higher dose to produce the same amount of action. Okay. So intolerance is exactly opposite to that of the tolerance. That means appearance of the characteristic toxic effects of the drug in an individual at the therapeutic doses. Okay. So here the adverse effects are seen, or the toxic effects are seen at the dose usually which is not showing the adverse effects. Okay. At the therapeutic doses itself, if the toxic effects are produced, toxic effects are generally seen at higher doses is what we have seen, right, in the earlier types of adverse reactions. We have seen the toxic effects are seen in the overdose and or at a higher doses. But here what is happening? Toxic effects are produced at the normal doses, at the therapeutic doses. So this is shown in certain individuals and it indicates a lower threshold of that individual towards the action of a drug. That means they require less amount of drug to produce a particular action. So here how you can control this situation? By lowering the doses. Okay. So you may individualize the dose in this situation. Okay. Now let us take some of the example. Only few doses of carbamazepine. It is an anti-epileptic drug. It may result in ataxia, motor incoordination in some patients. Only one tablet of chloroquine, which is an anti-malarial drug. It may cause vomiting and abdominal pain in occasional patients. Or a single dose of triflupromazine. It is an antipsychotic drug. It may induce muscular dystonias. Okay. So muscle contraction may get affected in certain individuals, especially in small children. So they are contraindicated. Okay. So that means such individuals are intolerant. They cannot tolerate that particular dose of the drug. Okay. So at usual doses, they will start precipitating the toxic effects. Okay. So such type of effect is known as intolerance. Next type of adverse drug reaction is idiosyncrasy. Okay. So idiosyncrasy, it is a genetically determined abnormal reactivity to a particular chemical. So here this is a it is a peculiar feature of that particular individual in whom you are prescribing the drug. So such type of effects are seen only in certain individuals. It is not found in many of the people. Okay. So such type of reactions are restricted to individuals with a particular type of genotype. Okay. So only certain genetics are responsible for certain type of adverse drug reactions. Now in addition to these, certain bizarre, certain unusual type of drug effects which may be due to peculiarities of that individual. Okay. Now here actually the genotype is not responsible for these type of adverse drug reactions, but certain unusual effects may be seen only in certain individuals. It is not seen in all the individuals. So only in few individuals the adverse reactions may be precipitated. Now here the genetics may not be responsible. So such type of reactions are also categorized as idiosyncratic reactions. Now some of the examples are quoted over here. Barbiturates, it causes excitement and mental confusion only in some individuals. Now this adverse effect is not seen in all the individuals. Chloramphenicol, it produces non-dose related serious aplastic anemia in rare individuals. So aplastic anemia is actually due to the damage in the bone marrow. So that may result in anemia actually over here. But chloramphenicol may precipitate this condition only in certain individuals. Again, quinine or quinidine, it may produce cramps, diarrhea or purpurea, then asthma or vascular collapse only in some patients, but not in all the individuals. So such type of reactions which are bizarre type, unusual reactions seen in only certain individuals are known as idiosyncratic adverse reactions. Then the next type of adverse drug reaction is drug allergy or drug hypersensitivity. Now drug allergy, it is an immunologically mediated reaction which is producing serotype symptoms, okay, due to maybe such symptoms which may be caused due to systemic infections. So such type of symptoms which are unrelated to the pharmacodynamic profile of that drug. So some symptoms which are totally not seen as the pharmacological effects of the drug. Okay, unrelated symptoms may be seen. Generally occur even with much smaller doses and have a different course of onset and duration. So such type of effects are known as drug allergy or drug hypersensitivity. Now there are certain situations wherein people get confused between these two terms, hypersensitivity and supersensitivity. So under drug regulation, drug receptor regulation, we have seen supersensitivity, meaning usually higher amount of response is seen by stimulating only normal range of the receptors. So here the receptors are super sensitive, so they show higher degree of response towards that particular drug. That situation is known as super sensitivity. But here altogether adverse effects are produced due to the certain peculiarities. Some specific allergic reactions are produced by that drug, by even the small amount of drug. Even a small amount of drug is also sufficient. It's not that hypersensitivity is shown at higher doses only. Okay, so such type of reactions are known as hypersensitivity reaction. Now usually affected organs include skin, airways or blood or GI tract. Now these type of allergic reactions usually occur only in few individuals, and they cannot be produced by whatever dose you give in other individuals, they may not be seen. Okay? So they are peculiarly seen only in certain individuals, drug allergic reactions. Okay? Certain individuals may be allergic to certain types of drugs. Now let us see what exactly happens in this particular situation. Okay? Either your drug or its metabolite, it acts as an antigen. Okay. Or more commonly it acts as an heptane. Heptane is an incomplete antigen. Okay. So this particular drug or its metabolite, which is acting as an antigen, it will induce specifically after binding to certain endogenous proteins in our body, it will bind to it and it will act as an antigen, and it will induce the production of the antibody or sensitized lymphocytes. So as a result of this, it will start showing antigen antibody reactions. Okay, immunological type of reactions may get. Those drugs which are chemically related may often show cross sensitivity. If you are sensitive towards one drug, you may even be sensitive towards another drug which is belonging to the same class. Okay. Now this drug allergy, okay, the course of drug allergy is quite variable. Okay. Now an individual who is previously sensitive towards a drug may not remain sensitive towards it upon subsequent administration. If you administer that same drug again later on, the person may not show hypersensitivity reaction, or converse may also occur. The drug which was usually safe may later on precipitate some allergic reactions, okay, upon re-exposure to that particular drug. So either ways it is possible. Now let us see what are the different mechanisms and types of allergic reactions. Basically it can be divided into two types, humoral and the cell mediated, just like your immunity. Okay, immunological reactions are involved, but here antigen is your drug. Your drug is acting as the antigen. Now coming to the humoral type of allergic reactions. Now, under this, the first one is the type 1 reactions or the anaphylactic reactions. Now here the antibodies which are involved are IgE. Reagenic antibodies are produced which get fixed to the mast cell. Now supposing if you are exposed to that drug again, what will happen? Antigen antibody reactions will take place. Okay, so already antibodies are formed and they are get bound to the mast cell. So here antigen antibody reactions will take place on the mast cell surface, and it will result in degranulation of the mast cell, and all the mediators which are stored in the mast cell, they will get released, like histamine, serotonin, that is 5-HT5-hydroxytryptamine, then leukotrienes, especially LTC4 and LTD4, prostaglandins, platelet activating factors. So all such type of mediators may get released. So these mediators will further mediate the reactions, allergic type of reactions. So they may result in urticaria, certain reactions or type of rashes may occur on the skin, okay, or itching may take place. Angioedema, that is swelling beneath the skin or the mucous membrane, specifically in the eyelids or the lips may be swollen, or bronchospasm may take place, that is constriction of the smaller bronchi or bronchioles may take place. Rhinitis, that is inflammation of the nasal mucosa, or anaphylactic shock. Shock means here the blood supply to your organs is reduced. Okay, maybe BP will drop, and fainting may also take place. Oxygen supply to your body may be reduced. Okay, so anaphylactoid reaction is resulting in this type of shock. So it is known as anaphylactic shock. Now these types of symptoms which are precipitated because of this anaphylactoid reaction, these include paresthesias, that is tickling, tingling sensation or pricking sensation, just like somebody is poking you with the needles in that particular region, or flushing may take place, increased blood flow to that region, or swelling of the lips, itching may be seen, or wheezing. Due to bronchospasm, wheezing is produced. Okay, all these effects which we have seen. Wheezing, a specific sound may be precipitated. Okay, so when you breathe, a sound will come. Or palpitation, the increase in the heart rate may be seen, followed by syncope, that is fainting. You may faint in this particular situation. Okay, so these are all the reactions which are precipitated quite quickly upon the exposure of the drug. So this type of drug allergy is known as immediate hypersensitivity, because it is precipitating the symptoms immediately. That's why it is known as immediate type of hypersensitivity reaction towards your drug. Now this condition may have to be treated with the use of antihistaminic drugs. Okay, anti-allergic drugs you have to prescribe in this particular situation to control all these symptoms of anaphylactoid reactions. Then the next type of humoral reactions which are seen include type 2 reactions or cytolytic reactions. So as the name implies, the cells will be damaged or will be killed in this particular situation. So here your drug and the component of specific tissue, it will bind to a specific component of your tissue, and that will act as an antigen, and this antigenic substance will result in the antibodies, generation of the antibodies. That is, the type of antibodies involved over here are IgG and IgM, and specifically they will bind to the target cells. They will remain bound to the target cells where exactly your drug has bound. So upon re-exposure with your drug, antigen antibody react. Your drug and that component is acting as the antigen. So antigen antibodies reaction will take place on the surface of these target cells. So complement system is also activated and cytolysis will occur. That is that destruction of that cell will take place. Okay. So as a result of this, the cells are killed over here, okay, or destroyed. Examples of reactions include thrombocytopenia, decrease in the thrombocyte level, agranulocytosis, decrease, it is a type of condition wherein WBCs may reduce, or aplastic anemia may be precipitated. Hemolysis, that is destruction of the RBCs, may take place. Sometimes specific organ cells are also damaged, like kidney, liver or muscles, tissues may get damaged, or systemic lupus erythematosus. This is a severe type of systemic allergic reactions which may be precipitated. Okay. Then the next type of humoral reaction include type 3 reaction or retarded or Arthus type of reaction. Now here the circulating antibodies, that is IgG antibodies, are involved. Okay. And upon exposure to your drug, antigen antibody complexes, they bind to the complement and they start precipitating on the vascular endothelium. Okay. So as a result of this, they will result in destructive inflammatory type of reactions on the surfaces in certain organs. Okay. So here manifestations include rashes, skin rashes may be seen, serum sickness, that is fever or body temperature will rise, or arthralgia, pain in the bones, or lymphadenopathy, the lymph nodes may be swollen, okay, or polyarteritis nodosa. So it's a type of situation wherein the blood vessels are damaged, or Stevens-Johnson syndrome may be precipitated. Here erythema multiforme or arthritis, nephritis, that is kidney damage, or myocarditis, the cardiac muscles may get affected, or some mental symptoms may get precipitated. Now usually these symptoms, they may subside within 1 to 2 weeks also, I mean when you stop the treatment. Okay. Then the next type of reactions which are seen is cell mediated type of reactions. And the next type of reactions are the cell mediated. So far we have seen the 3 types which are humoral type. Now the next one is the cell mediated. Okay. So in the earlier 3, antibodies were involved, right? Antibody formation was taking place. But here in case of type 4 reactions, or these are also known as delayed hypersensitivity, here these type of reactions are mediated by production of sensitized T lymphocytes, which are carrying the receptors for the antigen. So upon the exposure with your drug, which is acting as an antigen, okay, these T cells will start producing lymphokines, which attract certain granulocytes in that particular region, and they will start precipitating an inflammatory response. Okay. So inflammatory responses include contact dermatitis, or some type of rashes, or fever, or photosensitization, that is light when it falls onto that area, certain reactions may be precipitated on the skin. Okay. Now usually these type of reactions, they take a lot of time to develop, that is more than 12 hours time after the exposure to your drug is required to precipitate all these reactions. So that's why they are known as delayed type of hypersensitivity. So drugs like penicillin or salicylates or methyl dopa may precipitate such type of delayed hypersensitivity reactions. Okay. Now coming to the treatment of drug allergy, how you can treat this drug allergy. Usually first thing you should do is immediately stop the drug treatment, okay, which is precipitating the allergic reaction. If mild reactions are precipitated like rashes, skin rashes, they will subside on their own without any treatment. But sometimes antihistaminic, H1 antihistaminic treatment may be required in case of type 1 reaction, right? Urticaria, rhinitis, or swelling of lips and eyelids. So you may have to give the H1 antihistaminics, anti-allergic drugs. Okay. Now in case of anaphylactic shock or angioedema of larynx, if it has taken place, swelling in the larynx, so in that case specific treatment have to be given to that particular person, because it is quite life threatening situation which can be created over here. So in this situation you have to first put the patient in the reclining position, that is in the lying down position. Okay, then administer oxygen if required at very high flow rate. If required, cardiopulmonary resuscitation may also be instituted. Okay, the one which is done to bring back the person to life. Sometimes if the person so breathing might have affected, so here pressure is instituted on the chest, okay, with artificial ventilation which may be provided. Apart from this, adrenaline can be injected in 0.5 milligrams of dose intramuscularly, which is repeated every 5 to 10 minutes if the patient is not responding. Then H1 antihistaminics could be administered by parenteral routes. Even intravenous glucocorticoids, that is hydrocortisone sodium succinate, may be given in case if the situation is severe or recurrent in nature. So these are some of the adverse drug reactions which we have considered. We will continue with the remaining adverse drug reactions in the next lecture. This is the reference. Thank you.